I'm so glad you joined us in the Healthy Kitchen today. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Shayna and I have got some really yummy recipes, and we're kicking off our St. Patrick's Day class with a little bit of Irish veggie soup. And this is a soup stew that you're just gonna love, I think, along with knowing that there are lots of veggies in here that you think about as Irish, or at least I do. So, Irish soup, Irish veggie soup starts out with a little onion. We've got celery, we've got carrots, we've got parsnips here. You know, parsnip is the yellow looking carrot, and it's delicious, and I don't think we use enough of them. Then we have turnips, okay? And here we go, there's my turnip. And then also we have the Irish potato and a little bit of garlic. And you know, we don't think about garlic as Ireland, but legend has it that in the 7th century, Irish monks took garlic all over Europe. So we're going with that today. So in my pan here, I've got one of these big sweet onions, and we are using a sweet onion today. You won't believe how sweet this soup is, in a good way, not an icky way, but how sweet this soup is with all these different veggies. So I've chopped an onion and celery and put it into my saute pan right there. And you could use a stock pot, but I've got my saute pan so you can see inside of it. And they have cooked down in about a tablespoon of olive oil. So next up, I've got my other veggies. And this is carrots and parsnips that I chopped finely and roasted in a 400-degree oven for about 25-30 minutes. And I chopped it really small because I'm going to show you an option with the soup that if you don't want to puree it, you can just have it just as more of a stew. So there's my parsnips and my carrots. And you know, I like them roasty, toasty, so I've got them really brown. You don't have to get them brown if you're not as wild about the roasty, toasty flavor. But you know, that's why we're roasting the oven, so I figured, what the heck. So here's our turnip as well. Now these are pretty firm, the carrots and the parsnips. The turnip will never get as firm, but you can also get it nice and browned. And then last but not least, this soup calls for 4 to 6 cloves of garlic that's roasted as well. So here's my garlic that's roasted. I just want to show you this. I hope you can see it. I can squish my garlic down with my fingers. It's so nice and soft and sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape all my vegetables into my onions and my celery that have already been cooked down. So there they go. And then next up, what I'm going to do, I'll stir it just a little bit. Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in about half a can or 3/4 of a cup of cannellini beans. Okay, I've drained and rinsed them. And look at my potatoes. I prepped all this ahead of time, and so my potatoes I didn't put in water, so they got a little brown. But you know what? You're not going to be able to tell anyway because I'm going to puree this soup, and the rest of the ingredients will kind of camouflage that color, so don't worry about it. You know, potatoes oxidize so quickly, and that's what those did. So that was a russet potato about this size. Now, y'all, if you can find beautiful organic produce on all of these, you do not have to peel them if the skin is not gnarly, because, you know, Shayna will tell us all the time that the skin has a lot of nutrition. So I'm going to bring this up to just a little bit of a burble here so that I can put my last ingredient in, which is about 4 cups of my vegetable stock. I made the stock. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh. And you can always find information on how to make the stock on tasteandsavor.com or the YouTube channel too. So now all I have to do is let this go. I'm going to let it go for about 20 minutes. That's all it takes if you cut your vegetables in small pieces. And it's going to burble away for about 20 minutes on the heat, medium heat. I see a little bubble breaking every once in a while. And what you're trying to do is just get those potatoes cooked through and all those flavors to meld and mingle together. But luckily for us, oh, you know what? A little salt and pepper too. Don't want to forget the salt and pepper. I salted and peppered my vegetables along with olive oil when I roasted them, and you'll see that in the recipe. So there's my freshly ground black pepper and my salt. And guess what? Because I could, I made a soup ahead of time, and I just want to show you what this looks like. So here's the soup. I pureed this soup. I finished it off with just a drizzle of olive oil and some fresh thyme, and you really do want to put some fresh thyme or parsley or something like that on top, because it's not the greatest color. It's kind of sad green, I guess I would call it. So there's the one pureed, and here's an option for you. If you're not wild about pureed soup, look at this. Look at those vegetables. That's why I chopped them nice and small, so they would all go beautifully in a bowl and would be able to eat it as a stew as well as a puree. Hope you love this recipe. I hope you make this recipe, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Can't wait to show you a couple other recipes inspired by our love of Ireland.